Welcome to Elisa Reviews Outside. Today I am reviewing Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson. Now, I did a video on The Alloy of Law and how I was very disappointed that Brandon Sanderson just basically kind of did a steampunk slash western slash industrial era transposing those elements into a Mistborn world, or rather putting Mistborn elements into that sort of world, which felt way too much like Earth. This does get better. At that point, I'm used to things where we're introduced to Wax and Wayne and Marcy, and I did get to care more about these characters, although as far as this series goes versus the original trilogy of Mistborn, I still don't feel a connection to the characters as much. And that's one of the things, like, I was totally invested in the characters' stories in the original trilogy, so still don't quite care about the characters as much, but I have finally been introduced to the world. We've got all of the world building stuff out of the way. There's a lot more murder, so like I really like murder mystery stuff, and there's murder mystery elements, there's conspiracy elements, and major points from the magic system in the original trilogy come back in this one. And also I have a feeling this is the beginning of where he's connecting it to the greater Cosmere, which can be frustrating because, like, I don't know how many of you still watch any Avengers stuff, any Marvel stuff. Marvel got so big that's like, well, you have to watch all of the series and all of the TV shows and all of the movies in order to understand what's going on in this new series or this new movie, and that was really frustrating. And so I actually gave up on Marvel, but Mistborn and the Cosmere, so far of what I have read of Brandon Sanderson's, and this included, you don't have to have read the other Cosmere books. Now, the name Cosmere is name dropped, where I don't think there's no like reason for it. It's just like a little ooh, fans, watch this. I'm tying it in. Somebody knows something about Cosmere. Somebody knows the word Cosmere. And this also thinks, I believe, that a reveal towards the end ties it into another one of his books. Now, I probably won't know if my hints are right until either Bands of Mourning or The Lost Metal. It does make me want to go back and reread one of his books that I have read. And that one is one that I actually like a lot, so I would not mind rereading it. Now, I could be completely wrong. There's also some broadsheets in both Alloy of Law and Bands of Mourning. So broadsheets are like newspaper pages. And if you read through them, it gives a little bit more of the world building aspects, but there's also something that really reminded me of something in one of his other books. And so that's another thing that makes me think that he is doing more of an effort in this series to tie it into the broader Cosmere and to interconnect all of his works. And but if you haven't read any of his other works, I believe that you will understand everything going on just fine. And if you haven't read the original Mistborn trilogy, that is the question. I have read the original Mistborn trilogy, so I get all of the inside things, the references to people who were alive hundreds of years ago, the religious systems that have cropped up. the mentions of these different parts of the magic system. So I don't have to have a big learning curve. Whereas in the original trilogy, it's like, let's hit you over the head with all these people and all of this magic system. So, as somebody who has read the first one, I can't quite tell if you would need to read the others. There is a glossary in the back of like what metals people can burn to do different magic abilities and stuff like that. So there is that. But you don't have to read it to get the story. Unlike in the original Mistborn trilogy, where Vin is a Mistborn who can burn all of the metals to do all the different powers. So you have to keep track of what metal does what thing. In this one, there's only like 2 or 3, and you don't even have to remember which metal does what in order to understand what's going on. Like wax is a coin shot, and finally I remember that that's steel because it mentions it enough times. But the only thing that you really need to know is he has the power to push on other metals like a magnetic force, to magnetic similarly polarized metals or magnets pushing away from each other. That's kind of what a coin shot does, that pushes away. It's not actual magnetism, but that's just a way to think about it. And he's something called a twinborn, and I can't remember which metal he has for the terrace side of him, but it can make him lighter and heavier. And like, so I don't have a full understanding of the magic system because I can't remember everything, but I still enjoyed the story. Terrace people do take up a little more space in this book, but it's like almost a blink and you'll miss it. Like, it could have been excised from the story and it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. Which again frustrates me. Maybe he'll do more with Terrace people in the next books or in his next era. I don't know. Again, like a major plot point in the first, I'm referring to another video. A major plot point in the first trilogy was the Terrace people. Their culture was destroyed by the Lord Ruler, and to see them still basically absent from the story and focusing so much on the nobility again makes it really frustrating. Anywho, this is a video that's kind of taking up more time. I have Bands of Mourning ready, and I am caring more about the characters, so I think I will go ahead and start reading that. And I'm less angry than I was 7 years ago. And see ya. Bye.